So I'm going to give you my strategy for marketing and the things that I need to be in place before I even build the products. Most people build the product and then go to the market and try and sell it, and you hear crickets. That's what I used to do for a very long time. You go to the market first and you find painful problems that you can solve, that you're able to solve. And then you collect the feedback and then you come back and create the product to solve that problem. That product has a high chance of selling. Okay. And so that is the first part of it. Yeah. And I'll be showing you how to get into that and how to do that. Second is there is strategy for content. Content is not, hey, buy this product. Hey, this product has features that you might benefit from. Hey, this product will solve your problem. But you need to understand that not everybody is ready for the solution that you have for their problem. Most people are not problem aware. And so you need content to make them aware of the problem that they have. This is not selling them anything. They're not ready to buy because they don't even know that they have a problem that exists. So we have problem aware. Those who are not aware that they even have a problem, okay? Then we have those who are aware that they have a problem, but they're not aware that there's a solution. So you need specific content for that. So I hope you see why your content might not go viral. Your content might not get the views that you want, but your content is slowly doing something to each and every person along the journey. So there's somebody who is ready for your services today. There's somebody who does not even know you. And even if they know you, they do not know that they have a problem that you can solve. So, hey, quick, I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I just wanted to take a quick break and let you know that the sponsor of this podcast is actually Vine Studio 158. We are a content hub here in Raleigh. We also have this podcast that you're actually listening to, which leads to a community called Passion to Profit. And this is where we get to work. This is where I share all my tools. This is where I show you all my strategy and how I am growing my business. A lot of us are so gifted, but we do not know how to package our ideas. We do not know how to market. We do not know how to sell. And I want to show it all to you. And so the best way I can be able to do this is in a community. And so if you want to check it out, there's a 7-day free trial. Check it out. Let's get back to the show. Thank you for watching. Enjoy. We are people who are not problem aware. We are people who are problem aware, but they're not solution aware. Then we have people who are problem aware. They know that there's a solution for this problem. They haven't taken action yet because now there's nobody that they feel that they can trust enough to solve that problem. And how do you get to that place? You need to create content, specifically long form content. And this is why I encourage people start a podcast. Sometimes people are like, I don't know what to talk about. That's why you need to start a podcast, because it's easier to hold a conversation with someone else. That's why podcasting has been growing like something else. Podcasting is one of the best form of content that you can have for your business, because it's easy to make, it's easy to edit. You have enough content if you just record 1 hour, it's way better than the 30-second reels that you're making even for 30 days, because it's one long conversation and people are able to learn your personality, be able to know a little bit more about you. People choose you not because of your product. There's so many other people who are probably producing the same piece, the same product in your own city, in your own town. So what makes you stand out? It's them saying, oh, you're a family of 3. It's hard to talk about that in a 30-second reel and still pitch your product at the same time. That's why you need long form content. The other thing is, it's going to burn you out if you're constantly creating content every day. And so you want to leverage a podcast when you have long form content, because that's where trust is built. And then from that long form piece of content, it's very strategic because it's well researched, well organized in such a way that you can take story bites. They call them story bites. And the story bite is multiple sections organized in such a way that you can extract and they can coexist by themselves. So if I was to do your podcast and I was to do research for your podcast, and let's say you're a inner healing coach and you're talking about part of the program that you want to launch is helping people deal with mother wounds or sister wounds or whatever it is, yeah, I would ask myself, what are the things that get people into that place? Because again, we were just doing a podcast with my sister and we're talking about the importance of building a personal brand. Part of building a personal brand is that you have to lead with empathy and then authority. Empathy is, I have been here before. I have been in this hole before. I might not have the same story, but let me share my story of how I was in this place before. These are the mindsets that I had. So maybe you can talk about that. How did it feel, before you even knew what wounds are? What were you experiencing? And this is where you bring your original story and you share a little bit about that. And then now you're able to share the mindsets that you took. So that's another piece of content. So the story is a content. The belief systems that you had to have to be able to change that is part of the story. The limiting beliefs that you had, the things that stopped you from taking action, okay? Then the conversation that you had with yourself before you purchased the coaching, you want to even train them on buying. Train them on how you making an investment for yourself changed your life to the point now you're teaching other people. So you want to even handle any objections in your content, because objections are the things that hesitate people from buying, because they are like, oh, it's expensive, or I do not have time for this, or it's going to be too hard for me, or I can't make it on time to be. You want to handle all those things in your content, so that by the time they're getting on a call with you or they're going to their website, they're already pre-sold. They're like, when can I start? So you want your content to do the heavy lifting for you. And so there's different content for different parts of your marketing funnel. Every content serves different part of the customer journey, because not everybody is ready to buy from you. And so you cannot get discouraged when people don't buy from you today, because not everybody is ready to buy from you today, especially if you've just been creating content randomly. You can't just create content randomly. It has to be very systematic. You have to understand the correct order of creating content. There's somebody who has seen your content, and there should be a specific content that is pushing them closer to making a decision to buy. You also have to remember, people don't like to be sold to, but they want to buy. They want to buy in their own terms. And how do people arrive to that place? By trust. How do people get to trust you? By you being a man of your word, a woman of your word, by you showing testimonials, by you using the product. You have to be using the product that you're trying to sell. A lot of us are selling things that we don't even use ourselves, that we would not even buy ourselves. If I make a digital product, and I look at it, I'm like, can I buy this? If the answer is no, I am not selling it to you. Most of the products I make are actually products that I use, that I decide, okay, let me now sell it to the public. I think if I was to give you maybe 3 things or 5 things that you can do today, and you will see a big return on your investment for choosing to listen to this podcast, is make sure you find a painful problem in your community that you can solve. And if your product is not solving a genuine, painful problem around you, don't even make that product. So the next question is how do I find out these painful problems that you can solve? One is perplexity. If you think of Google and AI combined, that's perplexity for you. Sometimes I'll even pay the $20 just to be able to do some deep research. But even the free version you're able to do that. And I will leave a prompt. I will leave a link below where you can access the prompt that I use to be able to. All you have to do is plug the things that you're skilled at, or things that you feel like I can deliver as services around this, or even you can plug in the product that you've been making in it, and it's gonna tell you how the audience wants to consume that service or that product, and how they feel that product is going to solve their problem. So sometimes it's not even a product problem; it's the way you present the product. Sometimes it is who you present the product to, because if I'm selling you a 4-bedroom home, huge 4-bedroom home in Kenya, or 6-bedroom or 7-bedroom home Kenya, and I'm a young family, and I'm always thinking of going back to Kenya right now, and you come sell that product to me, I'm not going to buy it, even if I like it. But if you go sell it to somebody who is maybe 55, 60, going to their 60, and they're thinking of going back home, and they've never built, because they've always learned that people have always scammed people, and now that's your ideal client. So in your copy and in your content, call them out. Are you over 55 and you've been thinking of relocating back home, and one of the things that you've struggled with is, who do you even trust in building the house of your dream? Then look no further. You show your testimonials and other people who have decided to choose you, and then you show the experience that they're going to experience and the process that it takes and how easy and accessible it is to be able to get your application done. Because those are the things that people are looking for that people don't talk about. So if you can talk about all that, by the time this person is showing up and they see your video, they're like, you're talking to me. The problem, if you don't call me out in the first 3 seconds, I don't know if you're talking to me. I don't even know if this is my product. You don't know when you're going to even attract the right people into your funnel. You have a lot of people in your pipeline who are not even your ideal buyers. And so that video might get 100K, 200K views, but you will not convert. You'd rather get 10 and convert 5 than to get 1,000 and just convert one person. Because the 5 that you convert are going to compound. You will learn so much about them and ask them questions. If you have a customer right now, please study them, because there are many people who are like him or her that you can leverage and go market. That's why testimonies are so powerful, because others are able to see themselves in your customer than you can even ever describe. So the first one is perplexity. The second one is, I would go to Ask the Public. Is also another good site. You just put keywords of what you're trying to teach, and it's going to tell you what people are searching online. I also would go to Google Trends. I will go to Amazon. Sometimes I'll go to Walmart and check, or Target. I'll go and check the preview into products. You'll be able to go and see what products are going. Like, you can go and like, oh, there's only one remaining. You already know there's something about that product that people really like. And so go do some research on that. Be inspired. Don't copy. Be inspired. I remember when we were making our, I don't know if I have them here, mods cards that we made with my wife. And where they came from was, we were tired of going on date nights and talking about other people, and we didn't want to gossip people. Couples think it's okay, but it's not okay. It's still gossip. If you're not praying for somebody, don't even talk about it. Yeah. So we didn't want to talk about that. We didn't want to talk about our kids. We didn't want to talk about business. And so we'd stare at each other and be like, my goodness, what are we even going to talk about? And so we came up with like 500 questions during that, might be 2-year span. And then we sent the questions to our friends, and they picked their top 100, and we packaged them into card decks that you can go out for date nights, long drives. They're amazing. They are deep. So one of the things that we say when people are starting, pick the questions that you want your spouse to ask you. And as you continue to answer these questions, you can take the deeper questions and be able to just grow your relationship. Sometimes you don't even need therapy. You just need to have conversations about some things that you're not even thinking are affecting your relationship. And so that's something that you can access. We'll leave a link that you can be able to access that. I also leave a link for the community if you want to be part of the marketing community. And I'll be teaching you about the sales, the psychology of marketing, the psychology of sales, content creation, building funnels, everything that you need to be successful in your business. That is the place to be. Don't hesitate even a bit. You are going to gain a lot of value in joining the community. The last one is Reddit. And in the description, I'm going to give you specific prompts that are going to help you be able to get some of this information. You want to do your market research. I was just talking to my sister, and she does this thing where she makes money by just doing reviews. People are willing to spend tens of thousands for their product to be reviewed by real customer, and they get real feedback instead of launching the product and losing millions. And so they start sending and get the website so people to start interact with their website, their apps. So I'll also leave a link, because we've talked at length about that, and it's a beautiful way to make money on the side. My sister, she easily makes like £100 in 30 minutes. So if you've been looking for a side gig that you can do at the comfort of your home, that's the most legit thing that you can actually do. I actually tried it out, and I got a $5 thing that I haven't done. And when you start, you want to take the small money and build up. And I think she said that she's made even £1,000 with the site. So I'll leave the link below for you to check it out. But going back to the topic for this conversation, I think it's important to know how to create content, and don't chase virality. Don't be discouraged by the number of views and comments that you get in a reel. You can get all that, but if it's not converting, what's the point? So we'll be teaching you how to create content that converts. And it's not converting many people when you're starting, but it's converting and pushing somebody closer towards saying a yes. And so there's specific content for specific pipelines of the customer journey that your customer is going through. And when you understand this, it's going to liberate you and help you a lot. The reason why people get discouraged in creating content, even long form content. I have a piece of content that I think it has 48 views, but it has already brought customers to me. That's the strategy. At the end of the day, are you chasing subscribers and views? Or are you trying to change lives and your gift to open room for you to the point that it's paying you? You get to decide. This video is not, and the content that I teach in my marketing is not going to make you go viral. You don't even want to go viral for the wrong things. We're looking for viral moment, and there's viral hacking, which is a strategy by itself, but it needs to, yes, you can do that to get the masses, but immediately tell them who this content is for. Because you don't want people in your pipeline who are not interested in buying your services because they either don't care or they've already solved that problem. So that's the strategy. You need specific content that is hitting different pain points across the customer journey. And so I gave you, there is problem aware, people who are not aware of their problem. There are people who are problem aware, but they're not solution aware. The next one is they're problem aware. They are solution aware. They just don't know you exist to solve that problem. And they're looking for somebody that they can trust. And for them to trust you, you need to create long form piece of content. That's why I talked about podcasting, because you can create an hour, even 2 hour long conversation. And essentially it's you having a conversation with your friend, the way you've been having a conversation with your friend, talking about the things that you're passionate about. It's just that you're putting a camera in front and you get content out of it. I have a marketing background. So if you need my services in being able to structure your content in such a way that it does something to people, it moves people closer. Because what's the point of having a conversation for 2 hours if I don't move you into taking action? I believe by you watching this, if you've been paying attention, there are multiple things that I have been doing to you. First, I've given you hopefully some gems of where you should be doing your content. I've also changed your mindset of content creation, because you've been getting discouraged by creating content and getting 2 views. But you can get the same 2 views, but do something and get a customer. But there's strategy to that. And so I'll be teaching you that in the community. I've also broken some limited belief and mindsets that you might be having that could be stopping you from creating content. Hopefully I've made content feel simple, because that's why I even opened this podcast today. I realized the treasure in it. I would rather be behind the camera, but I am here. I am here in front of the camera because I know what podcasting can do for this studio, but also in building my personal brand. And I am encouraging every person that I know. It is so hard to see somebody struggle, yet they're so gifted, and all they need to do is show up consistently. And I can't tell you of any other way that you can show up consistently by just start with a podcast. And there's a psychology to that. It is hard to speak to a camera. It is hard. You need to be really good and comfortable with that. There's nobody in this room. It's just me and this camera. And I have to remember that I am speaking to one audience. And I have to remember that it's okay. I don't have to feel uncomfortable. And there's so much that goes into that. So if I was to encourage you to start, is to have a conversation. Have a conversation. You're already having those conversations. Now let that conversation do something for you. Let it help you to stay consistent. Let it help you have enough content. Because you can't believe this. How long have I recorded this? 34 minutes. I am so sure that I can get 5 reels from this. And I'll be showing even the software that I use. Like by the time I am done with this, the software that I use is going to make 5 reels for me automatically. Even without me, it's going to go review the reels and know where to pick the stuff up. That's the beauty of it. Let me give you another strategy. When I record this, I get the transcript. I put it in Claude. And then I'll ask it, I want to get 5 reels that are going to... So remember what I told you about strategy? When I came to this, I didn't even have notes. But I knew what I was going to talk about. My goal here with this episode was to make you aware that there are multiple pieces of content that need to be made for specific spaces within your pipeline. You don't randomly make content. You make content for each stage, and you bring somebody closer to them saying yes. And in the process, there are multiple things you're doing. We talked about empathy. You want to show them that you have been there before. Might be not the similar story, but you know how that feels. And where do you get the language for that? You go to on YouTube and you go to the comment section. Go to a topic that you want to talk about. I encourage people to do brand strategy. It is so hard to just make content, randomly build coaching programs if you've not done brand strategy, because you will be all over the place. You build multiple products and they're not cohesive and they're not building something bigger. So you need brand strategy so that you know your lane, so that you know what your message is, so that you can pull your own personal story. Because when you're starting, you might not have the testimonials. You are your own testimonial. And so there's so much I want to share that I don't think can fit in here. So just join the community where we'll talk in depth some of these things, and you'll get the strategy for that. So this video, again, for those who are listening, this is problem aware. This is somebody who knows that there's a problem, but now I'm giving you there's a solution. And the solution is part of this content. The solution can also be joining the community. I'm telling you the next action that you need to take. I'm also giving you some links below so that you can go action it today and actually get customers and start getting traction with your content. You see, we're so fixated in building huge following, and the Bible says, be great. I'm not trying to get 1 million subscribers and it would be nice to have it here. I'm not trying to get this to go viral or get 1,000 likes. If I do, that's amazing. My goal is to be great. And the Bible tells me how to be great. The greatest of thee will be a servant. So I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve myself, the version of me 5 years ago, who did not know this kind of information, who was discouraged by creating content and not seeing that content convert. I have 225 followers on Vine Studio 158, and I make money with that because my content is not random. You should join the marketing community. You should join something, do something today to get your content game in place. One, you have to shop consistently. That's a must. That is a must. You have to. You have to. You do not have a choice, my friend. You do not have a choice. You have to shop consistently. That's one. And hopefully I've convinced you enough that podcast is the way to go. So if you're looking for a space and you're here in Raleigh, Vine Studio 58. I'll leave the link here. Come to check us out. Come check out the space and record your podcast. Come once a month. You don't have to come here every day. Come once a month. Come with multiple outfits. Record yourself. Go home with 30 pieces of content because it's possible to pull out 30 pieces of content. Some can be reels. The long form content can be split into 2 and you have a podcast every other week. You can have one the first week, a teaser the first week, part A the second week, part B the 3rd week, the full version on the 4th week. You can start there. You can take reels that are all pushing traffic to the main video or to the first part and the other one to the second part, and then the first part channels to the long version so that people watch the long version. You can take out the script, give it to your marketing team or the people who create content for you, tell them to repurpose and build carousels from them. You can take screenshots as you were talking and teaching and put actionable things that you were talking about in the content. You can pull the script and create a newsletter that goes on a weekly basis. Maybe in your podcast, you try and hit 4 main things or main topics. That way you have newsletter going every week. You can create an email nurture sequence from the podcast, like a 30-day where you give them an actionable tip where you repurpose that content. I'm telling you, there's so much that you can be able to do with one long piece of content. You can leverage your guest list. When I discovered podcasting, that was it. And you don't need a studio. As much as I want you to come here to the studio, you don't need the studio. Turn on your phone and serve people. Do a long form piece of content today in your house. Even before you come book a studio, prove to yourself that you can do it. Turn it on. Get uncomfortable. Get comfortable by being uncomfortable. Get used to talking to the camera. Put it there. Put your friend there. Let's talk about these things that excite me. Let's serve people. That's the heart. And then you leave it to God. He's the one who is responsible for the increase. Don't go chasing for increase. You just plant and water what you have been given. Leave it to God. He's going to send it to the people that needs to be, but you need strategy. I hope this was helpful and hopefully I'll see you next time. All right. Subscribe for more content like this. Also, let me know what resonated with you. Let me know what kind of content that you need me to create more of. And join the community and let's go crush it this year. Yeah, let's go crush it.